Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy stress-free Sunday to all of you. You know, it's nice just getting to hang out, watch a lot of football on Sundays, not have to worry about anything. It's the best kind of Sundays. Hope you guys have been enjoying it. On today's show, we're going to talk about the possibility of a Calais Campbell reunion in the Charm City. Could they possibly be bringing back one of the better defensive tackles in the last couple of decades? Because just a couple days ago, Miami, it was leaked, announced that if they weren't to make the playoffs, they would release him. Okay, we'll talk about that more in just a little bit. But I got to say, guys, we are on a roll. 2 videos this week have already gotten over 700 likes. That is, one of them is the most liked video on this channel. Can we keep it going? Can we keep the roll rolling? If you think so, I need you to like the video. Let's stay on this hot streak, okay? Because if we're hot, the team's hot, and we all know we want the team to be hot right now. So it came out on December 28th. Omar Kelly of the Miami Herald, he wrote an article and announced that if the Dolphins were to not make the playoffs, that they would most likely release Calais Campbell to give the 17-year veteran a chance to win a Super Bowl. He's never won one before, got really close in his first season, but they've loved him so much in his time with Miami that they say, you know what, if we don't make the playoffs, we want to give him a chance to go on a roster, to be on a roster that can compete. Here's what Omar Kelly had to say. He said, Campbell and the Dolphins have discussed his release, which would need to happen before next week's season finale, giving him an opportunity to latch on to a team competing for a Super Bowl. Here's what Calais Campbell had to say. I'm cherishing this moment. I feel like this team has so much potential. We are so much better than how we've been playing. But I want a chance to win it all. My whole career I've been close, but no cigar. I want that cigar. And look, I hear you, Calais. I really do. And I get where he's coming from, right? If you spend 17 years in this league, and 17 years as a dominant force in this league like he's been, and you don't win a Super Bowl, that's got to be really frustrating. But also at the same time, I don't know if I'm him, I don't know if it would feel the same in my opinion. Would it not feel a little bit like weird and Mickey Mouse-like if you were to be cut by a team at the end of the year just so you could re-sign with another one and join him the last, 4-5 weeks of the season and then win a Super Bowl? You have to feel like internally that probably would feel a little bit different. Like, I don't know if it would feel as good as just going and winning a Super Bowl with a team you've been on the entire year or at least half of it. But I don't know. It just seems a little Mickey Mouse-ish to me. I might be wrong. I don't think I am. I mean, it's just how I feel, okay? But I want to hear from you guys. Would you guys add Calais Campbell? Simple yes or no question. If you think he'd be an asset, if you think you'd want to add him, go ahead and give me a yes in the comment section down below. And if you're saying no, let's just roll with who we got, go ahead and give me a no. You're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break. When that time comes, take advantage of it. Scroll down the comment section, find this pinned comment, and give me a yes or no. So this is how the last 4 seasons has stacked up for the 38-year-old. 46 tackles this year. We'll talk more about this year. But then last year with Atlanta, 56 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks, a pass breakup. And then you look at 2022 and 2021, both of those years. He was in the in the purple and gold in Baltimore. 36 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks, 2 pass breakups. And then the year before that was really kind of his best year in Baltimore from a tackles perspective with 49, 5 tackles for loss, a sack and a half, and 1 pass break. And what just blows my mind really out of all those stats is the games played. At his age and at that position, him being able to play 14, 15, 17 games every single season is mind-blowing, okay? Let's talk a little bit about more of what he's done in year 17 this year with the Miami Dolphins. 46 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 5 pass breakups. In Miami, they've been a team where they have really not had great luck with the injury bug, especially on their defensive line. He's been a guy that I don't think he was going to be added as a depth piece, but I don't think he'd be like the front and center mode of this defensive line. And that's kind of what he's been doing. So if you ask me, just Joey, do you think he could make an impact? I would look you in the eyes and tell you 100%. Okay, you look at what he's done in the past. You look at just what he's done in Baltimore. If you just take out all the other, 14 years of his career and just look at his time as a Baltimore Raven, man, he was great. Was such a helpful and just anchor position for us on that defensive line. So 100% I think he can make an impact. But I also kind of think you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Okay? And I'm not saying that he's one of those guys that comes into a locker room and shakes things up. In fact, I kind of think he's the exact opposite. I think he's a guy that you get into a locker room and guys love him. He is so much fun. There's a reason he's been around this league and so loved for so many years. I mean, his team is willing to cut him just to get him a chance to win a Super Bowl. But also, it kind of just feels like everything is gelling right now. And even though you'd add a guy that people would love, and that would probably help this team, you got to ask yourself, I don't know, do we just keep rolling with what we've got? Why change anything? Why risk changing anything, adding anyone? Might want to just run with what you got, okay? I'll talk a little bit more about this possibility in just a little bit. But I got to talk about the sponsor of today's video, and that is our good friends over at PrizePicks. And you can make your holidays bigger and brighter with PrizePicks. The best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. And instead of 200 times your cash, it is now 1,000 times your cash. Also, PrizePicks offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Join now because this holiday season, PrizePicks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. PrizePicks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off, which ones aren't. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on PrizePicks. Let's take a look at my PrizePicks that I've got going into Sunday Night Football. Commanders taking on the Atlanta Falcons. I have the more on Brian Robinson, the longest rush being 14.5 yards. I've got the more on pass completions for Jane Daniels with 21. And I've got the more on receiving yards for the Atlanta Falcons running back Bijan Robinson. So download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. That's code CLNS on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need a win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. Before we go into any more depth on the whole Calais Campbell situation, the will he or won't he aspect of it, I would love if you guys hit that subscribe button. We are the fastest growing Ravens channel on YouTube. It's been an awesome season. We've added over 7,000 subscribers just since the month of August. I want you to be the next one. So if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead, hit that sub button. So as it stands right now, the Ravens have about $1.15 million in cap space. And he signed a $2 million contract with the Dolphins, but, I mean, you're in week 18. It would cost you almost $0 to sign this guy, to get this guy on your roster. So yes, you're on the bottom end of the NFL when talking about how much money you have, what your current cap space is. But when you're looking at a guy like Calais Campbell, he would be incredibly cheap. All this needs to happen by January 8th, okay? Because that is the roster freeze for any team that's in the postseason, okay? So a week from Wednesday is when rosters freeze. You can't add anybody. Not to the practice squad, not to anything. You're done. If you're competing in the postseason, those are the guys you're going with, okay? So this has to be done in the next 10 days or so, by Wednesday of next week. Now, there's multiple teams interested. Of course there's multiple teams interested. He's a guy who's one of the best defensive tackles in the last couple decades. Who are those teams? Well, it's Kansas City, it's Minnesota, and it's Detroit. Okay, Kansas City, they're one of those teams that are just always looking to get better. Minnesota and Detroit, they've had a lot of injuries, especially Detroit at that interior defensive lineman position. And a lot of these teams, like Baltimore, they're just trying to stock up for a potential Super Bowl run. Now, the good news kind of in all this is they've got better records than you. That's the good thing. So when you go into the waiver wire and when you look to claim Calais Campbell, if he goes on waivers and if they make the playoffs, he won't. Okay, he won't do that, but there's still a pretty decent chance they don't. So if he does go on waivers, it's really the waiver claim list goes from pretty much who has the worst record all the way down to who has the best. So KC, Detroit, Minnesota, all those teams have better records than you. That's a good thing, okay? And the funny thing about all this is, right, is he's 38 years old. This is his 17th season in the NFL. But this just shows you how much of a piece he could be when you see how many teams are interested in adding a 38-year-old defensive tackle nonetheless. And it's obvious when you look at the PFF numbers. 83 overall. He's got a pass rush grade of 66.5 and a run defense grade of 87.6. That's best of any defensive tackle in football. So because of all this, guys, I do it in a heartbeat. I know what I was talking about earlier with this defense is really starting to play better, and we'll talk more about that as this week goes on. And I was questioning, do you add anything to this? But when it's a guy like that who's already been there before, this isn't a Deontay Johnson. This isn't a guy you're taking a chance on. This isn't a guy who's had locker room issues in the past. This is a guy who was in your locker room just 2 years ago. 2 years ago from this exact point, he was wearing purple and gold. So yes, you do it. You bring him in. And I know this defense is really good at stopping the run. And I know that's what Calais Campbell does best at. But guys, it cannot hurt to have some more depth on your team, especially when that depth looks like Calais Campbell. Okay? So I do it in a heartbeat. But I want to let you guys know. I want to let you guys tell me, what is the % chance you think that Baltimore adds Calais Campbell? Scale it for me 1 to 100% in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for tuning in, every single one of you. I appreciate all of you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the weekend. Hope you enjoyed the holiday season with your family. We'll be back tomorrow with another video. The next day, y'all know how it goes. I'll see you next time.